This video is not intended for people under the age of 13 as the game is rated T for teen. Hey you guys, it's Bree Simulated here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Today we're going ahead and renovating the Cat Scratch Cottage. That's right, we are doing the Lynx renovation battle. It's been a little bit of a hot minute since our last video of a renovation battle. I think it was maybe was it December? I think it was December. We missed out on January, but that's all good because we are back fresh and ready in 2020 to go ahead and renovate again. So I know that there are a couple of people who couldn't contribute in this renovation battle, and there are still some people trickling in as I'm filming my voiceover saying they can or can't participate in this February challenge. So I'm going to go ahead and just say to go ahead and check out the description to see who's participating. The best way to go ahead and check out all the renovation build videos is to head on over to Havana Sims channel and either watch her Twitch live stream or head on over to her YouTube channel and check out the playlist that'll have all of the videos that are going to be uploaded. So with all that over and done with the little announcement about who's participating, I'm not really sure at the moment, but what I do know is the premise of this build, the premise of this renovation. Havana is such an incredibly creative girl, and she always knows how to sort of put a little bit of a funny spin on some renovations, but also create a bit of purpose with them. So the purpose of this build renovation challenge this month is Catarina, who is the little bit of the crazy cat lady of Brindleton Bay, which I know is kind of hard for Brindleton Bay because everyone loves their pets there, but she just takes it a step too far, and it hasn't gone unnoticed. In fact, her neighbors and even just, tourists walking by on the boardwalk have started to notice that her house is a little bit pongy. She adopted another cat off the street, which you might have seen real quick at the very start of the video. The cat was quite sick. She saw it on the boardwalk and she decided she had to adopt it and take care of it. She really does mean well, Catarina. She's not trying to hurt anyone. She's only trying to rescue these little animals and take care of them and love them. And that is just the most sweetest thing ever. But a big side effect, a big downfall of having cats in a house is that if you don't take care of them and clean up their waste properly, it does start to smell. And I know that smell can stain a house. It's serious. If you have a house and you're trying to sell it and it has a cat smell, it'll be hard to sell because that smell is hard to get rid of. You're buying that smell with the house, Luckily for Catarina, she's not intending on selling this house anytime soon, but she was told that if she didn't clean up her act, clean up the house, clean up the smell, and, make it so that she wasn't disturbing the public peace, she was going to have to go ahead and get rid of her cats, which that just wasn't an option, right? So she went ahead and enlisted the help of us renovation battlers to go ahead and battle it out to renovate her house, propose some ideas to her to see which one she should pick to renovate her house to rescue her cats. So this is a very big, important job. I mean, cats' livelihoods are on the line, and Catarina would be incredibly unhappy if we didn't do a good enough job to rescue her cats. So our rules were very simple, very similar to a lot of the other rules in every other renovation battle challenge. You're not allowed to change the shape or structure of the house, but you are allowed to add, change, remove, change the colors of the walls, the paint, the flooring, fences, stairs, roofs, stuff like that. Any external stuff that doesn't actually change the functionality of the exterior of the house, you can change. You can give it a lick of coat. You can give it a lick of paint. I was going to say a coat of paint and a lick of paint at the same time. It didn't work. You can swap out the doors. You can redo the windows, add in some columns, some fences, some hedges, do some landscaping, but overall, the house just has to be renovated, not rebuilt. So it's really important that we don't change the actual structural integrity of the house. Sometimes we are allowed to change the interior walls. I'm not sure if we were this time, but I didn't, just because I felt like the layout was a bit of a challenge to work with and I wanted to challenge myself. My main goal was to go ahead and eliminate anything that could be contributing to the smell of her cats. One of the big things I could see that was probably not helping was that she was leaving her clothes around everywhere. She was just leaving them on the floor, in the bathroom. She was leaving like newspapers and magazines, and she had all these posters strewn up. It just looked really messy. And I just knew that that was probably not helping with the smell, how messy she was as a person. And if we help keep her accountable with those things, it'll probably help with the smell overall and help her then keep accountable with the cat litter. So this room down the bottom right hand corner of the screen, the blue bathroom, that is going to be the cat's ensuite. We had to go ahead and create an ensuite for the cats for this renovation challenge. I don't know if mine is good enough to qualify as a cat ensuite. I'm not sure. But it certainly is a place where the cats can do their business. There's only one litter tray in there, which is what makes me think that it doesn't quite qualify. But my thought is, there is a toilet and a sink in there. There's a laundry basket, and then there's a washer and dryer, right? My intent was, Catarina really needs to keep up to date with the washing now. The washing probably wasn't helping with the smell. You're leaving like mildewy clothes on the floor. The cats might be using the clothes as a bathroom if you're not picking them up. Like, especially this new cat, it's a stray, so it hasn't been properly, what is it called? Litter trained? I was going to say potty trained. The cat hasn't been litter trained yet, so it might go in her clothes if they're just on the floor. You know, you never know. So the main thing I wanted to make sure was that there was a washer and dryer in the house. And so I went ahead and put that in the cat suite, the ensuite downstairs for the cats. And then there wasn't enough room for another litter tray. So what I decided to do instead was to go ahead and use the litter tray with the laser eyeballs. I thought that would be the best at combating the smell because it means Catarina wouldn't have to tend to it as often. I think with that one, you don't really have to tend to it at all from memory. But anyway, that one's there. The cats can take turns. Hopefully they don't have to queue up too much for it. My other thought was, Catarina is the crazy cat lady of Brindleton Bay. We know this. It's been said and done. So, I imagine she is the type of sim who would potty train her cats, like literally potty train them to go on the toilet. Have you seen people do that in real life? I think you could actually do that in The Sims too. You could potty train your cats to make them go on the Sims toilets. Like, they would go on the toilet. So I imagine, even though we can't do that in The Sims 4, at least I don't think you can, Catarina would find a way. She is the type of sim who would spend her days potty training her cats. And so that is why there is a toilet in the cat's ensuite, because I imagined she's going to potty train her cats to use the toilet so that then she doesn't have to like change the litter or fix the laser beams or whatever even more. She just has to flush it. So the cats are going to be using the laser beam litter tray and the toilet. That's my debate. That's why I'm saying that even though it's kind of just looks like a human bathroom with one litter tray, it is about the cats, I promise, okay? So I hope that that excuses my not so cat ensuite, but my intent was to combat the smell, and I hope that is successful. And I hope that the cats don't have to line up too much to use the bathroom. My next intent was to just go ahead and really freshen everything up. Make sure that she had clean like floorboards and got rid of all that icky wallpaper, because I can only imagine that must have been like retaining smell. I don't know. When I think of wallpaper, I just think it must smell bad. So we went ahead and gave everything a fresh coat of paint. Really just tried to brighten things up. I just know she's such a creative person. Like, you can just see that she's so creative. And so I just felt like that needed to be reflected a bit more in her house. Another aspect of this renovation battle was that the exterior had to be cottage style, sort of like Brindleton Bay, fancy, cottagey, almost like not Victorian, but kind of just like coastal cottage was what I was going for on the outside. I just wanted to make sure the outside looked really prim and proper and just kind of fancy, so that whenever people walk past, they don't smell the house before they see it, and they walk past and think, oh wow, Catarina really cleans up her act. She deserves to have possession of her cats. So that's what I wanted them to think. And I think this house's exterior definitely does that. It looks warm, it looks inviting, and it still looks kind of Catarina. Then the inside, we were instructed to go ahead and make it contemporary hobo. I'm not sure if Havana Sims meant to say boho, or if she meant to put hobo, like a homeless person. I'm not sure, or maybe I'm reading that wrong. But, sorry, I sort of tried to take it from both perspectives. I sort of thought maybe it was like hobo as in like cluttered, like a lot of stuff going on, like if you grabbed a homeless person's shopping trolley and you got all the possessions inside of there and put them in a house, like that kind of style. Is that what we're talking about? I don't know. I was a bit confused. So I went with contemporary and boho, and also maybe tried to put a bit of an eclectic vibe in there in case Havana Sims did mean to say hobo. I'm not sure. And I also felt kind of embarrassed to ask. Don't know why I felt embarrassed to ask in the group chat, but I feel completely comfortable talking about it on YouTube to the general public. But there we go. Anyway, I just wanted it to look kind of cluttered inside, but still contemporary. Like the basic element of the house, if you took away all of her furniture, what's left behind looks contemporary. And then the boho hobo vibes come from her decorations. So I really wanted the kitchen to be a place that was clean. So making the actual layout of the kitchen more contemporary, using those marble surfaces, having cabinets for her food and whatnot would hopefully help keep the place clean. Also, before the cats were eating off of the counter and in the kitchen, which I can only imagine, I know that's probably not so abnormal to feed your pets in the kitchen, but when you have such a small kitchen like this, you can just imagine if you're feeding your cats wet cat food on your kitchen counter where you're also making your sandwiches and stuff. That smell has got to be impacting your food, right? I don't know. I just don't like the idea of that. So they get fed in the little foyer area by the bathroom. Also, apologies if you can hear my washing machine. It's my day off. Well, I work the night shift tonight, so it's my daytime off. So I'm trying to wash my sheets to have them dry by the time I get home at 9 p.m. So apologies if you can hear that noise. I'm doing Catarina justice. She's got to do her washing, so I'm doing my washing. Anyway, so I just thought it'd be better if the cats had their own separate little dining area out of the kitchen, and it's also near their cat ensuite. So I imagine that what would happen is Catarina would leave them to eat in that little area. They'd eat their food there, and then she'd leave the door open so they can go to the bathroom. And then they also have a little kitty door that goes out to the backyard if they want to go out there. And from there, they can also head up the stairs to her bedroom, which is where most of their beds are. There are some beds and play equipment downstairs as well, but most of it's upstairs because I imagine she'd want to cuddle with them and have them sleep in her bedroom. And also in her bedroom, there is an outdoor area. So if the cats ever do want to get some fresh air whilst upstairs, they can go out onto the balcony if she lets them out. But my main intention with the living room downstairs was that the cats probably wouldn't be down there too much. They'd probably be in the other part of the house. The main reason for that is because if you're trying to eliminate the smell and stop the general public from being able to smell the cats, you'd probably want to keep them away from the front door area, I guess, is what my thought was. So that area is more for her to entertain guests and have people over and do human things. And then the cats can be locked with those doors from the kitchen. They can be locked over that way. That way then they are never locked out into the living room where they can't get to their litter tray. So I imagine she'd always keep the cat ensuite door open and they'd be able to be in the kitchen area, but their food isn't in the kitchen. It's in that little foyer area. And from there they can go outside, they can go upstairs to their beds, they can do whatever. And if they were to have an accident on any carpet, it'll be in her bedroom, not in the living room. So hopefully the smell wouldn't be as bad and she could clean it up and it wouldn't be as impactful to the public. So she should not get her cats taken away. Alrighty, I think that's about all I need to say about this build. I really do like this build. If you follow me on Twitter, you would have seen I uploaded this bathroom I'm working on right now, and I uploaded it with the hashtag master bathroom. And the gallery didn't like that because it's too close to an inappropriate word. So just a little bit of a fun fact, that bathroom is on the gallery, but you will not find it by searching the hashtag master bathroom. You can find it by searching hashtag Bree Simulated or hashtag bathroom. But I just thought that was funny to mention, and just a little plug for my Twitter. I am finally back posting on Twitter a lot more regularly. I just got back from my holiday, if you did not know. I went on a holiday to New Zealand. We spent a week in Rotorua and a week in Auckland, and we had a lot of fun. It was really relaxing, and the first part of it was really adventurous, doing a lot of crazy stuff and zip lining, and I did a backwards free fall thing where you stand at the top of a platform and you are facing backwards and you just fall backward, and it was crazy. I can't believe I did that. I'm pretty sure I didn't. I'm pretty sure that was somebody else in my body. But I want to tell you all about my adventures about New Zealand. I'll probably sprinkle them in a couple of videos. I'm not really sure exactly what I'm going to be posting now that I'm back. I'm sort of getting back into the swing of things with work and getting back into my household routine, like washing my sheets. Did I tell you guys that one of my New Year's resolutions is to wash my sheets every 7 to 10 days, like a normal adult? So I'm sort of trying to get back into that, making sure my house is tidy and clean and livable, cooking healthy meals. One of the things I got sick of whilst I was away was eating out for every meal. Like, we usually wouldn't eat breakfast, we'd just have coffee from the hotel room or our Airbnb, and then we'd have lunch while we were out. Usually we'd be having like cafe food, or if we were at like the zoo or at a museum or something, they usually have little like cafeteria style lunch things in New Zealand. We noticed, like, you'd grab a tray and then you'd put things on your tray that were in these fridges, and then they would like scan each of the items or charge you for each of the items on your tray, and then you'd go sit down yourself, rather than like in Australia, I don't think we really have that. It's more like you go up and order and you tell them your order and then they bring it to the table. But yeah, that was sort of how it was in New Zealand, which is good because then you could sort of pick whatever you wanted. But the options weren't always the healthiest, or if they were healthy, we were like, we're on holiday, we want to eat yummy food, not healthy food. And so, yeah, I definitely ate a lot more food than I should have, and a lot of bad food. But that's the whole point of being on holiday, is that you're not in your normal environment, you're not in your normal life. So just do whatever, have fun, live a little. And now that I'm home, I just want to eat some vegetables. Like, I ate vegetables while I was away, of course. And I actually had some really, really yummy vegetables. We went into the Sky Tower and had the dinner in the 360 orbiting dining thing. And I had the salmon, and they had these like vegetables on the plate with the salmon. And I usually am the type of person where I just wouldn't eat the vegetables. Like, I'll eat a couple, but I will never finish my vegetables. I will always save room for dessert by skimping out on the veggies or the salad or whatever, and just eat like the yummy parts of the dish. But the vegetables were so good. They tasted good. I don't know how someone can make vegetables taste as good as those ones were. But it was really yummy. So I just knew at that point in time that I must have been like deprived from veggies, because I actually really enjoyed some when usually I would not. So now that I'm home, we went ahead and went food shopping. Like, we got home on the Saturday around lunchtime, and I felt so horrible when I got home. So our flight was at 6:30 a.m. We had to be at the airport around 4 a.m. So we woke up at like 3:30 to get our Uber, and we actually had a bit of a fright with getting the Uber home, like to the airport, because we'd pre-booked it the night before, and we woke up and it was still like trying to find us a driver, and I was freaking out thinking, oh my god, no one's around. So we cancelled it and got the hotel to call us a taxi, but as we cancelled it, the app like rebooted, and then there were like tens of hundreds of Ubers around. So then we ended up just getting an Uber anyway. Sorry to the random taxi driver that rocked up at our hotel thinking we were there to be picked up, but we weren't. I'm sorry, but we were running late. We couldn't wait for you any longer. So we got in this Uber and drove to the airport, and we were trying really hard to not have to use public bathrooms on our vacation. I don't want to like be sad or like talk about stressful things that are anxiety inducing, because I film these videos to relax, and I don't want you guys to stress out about like real world problems while watching these. But there was a lot of warnings all around the airport and everywhere, on the plane, everywhere, just to avoid, like, to do frequent hand washing and to do this and do that. Really take good care of your like hygiene and make sure you're not exposing yourself to any illnesses, basically. That's all I'm going to say about it. But so for that reason, we were just trying to not use public bathrooms while we were on this vacation, and only use our hotel and Airbnb ones, which worked out fine. I used public bathrooms maybe about 2 or 3 times, but I would only do it if we really desperately needed to. So we obviously went to the bathroom before we left for the airport, but then after that we didn't until we got home. Luckily the flights weren't too long and it was like all good, but because we didn't really want to go to the bathroom, we were trying not to drink too many liquids, and I think I just had a headache from sort of being like dehydrated, and I had a coffee on the second flight, but by that point I already had like a caffeine withdrawal headache. We've been having our coffees like first thing in the morning, when we woke up in our hotel and Airbnb. So by the time I had that coffee, and because of the time difference, I had that coffee at like 11 a.m. Australian time, but it would have already been like almost 1 p.m. in New Zealand. So my brain was like, where is the caffeine? And I just had a really bad caffeine headache. And those take a while to go away. Even if you drink caffeine, it's not as if like half an hour later they fix themselves. It takes quite a while. So I had my coffee on the plane, even though I was trying not to drink too many liquids. And then got home. I was starving because on the first flight we got breakfast. I had some scrambled eggs. They honestly weren't the best. And I got them with potato wedges, thinking the wedges were going to be like crispy and yummy. But they were so soggy and like made me actually want to vomit. After eating those eggs, I felt so nauseous. Like, I was just like, oh my God, that was not good. So I just tried to drink water to help like wash it down and stop the nausea. And then on the second flight, I was also really anxious because on the way there, we stopped over in Sydney. So we went from Adelaide to Sydney, Sydney to Auckland. And we did not realize that getting a flight into Sydney domestically and then taking an international flight was so hectic. We just didn't realize. We just thought it was a matter of you get off the plane and walk to your gate, because when we flew from Adelaide to Singapore, Singapore to Tokyo, that's all we had to do. You didn't have to go through like immigration or anything crazy like that. We did that in Australia and then left. And then in Singapore, we were just in the terminal and then we just had to find our gates and then flew to Tokyo, you know? So we were thinking it would be similar, if not more relaxed, because it's like just Australia. But it turns out it was more intense because we didn't go through immigration and whatnot in Adelaide. We had to do it in Sydney. Oh my God, it was so stressful, so crazy. It took so long. And our flight was delayed, the first one. And basically, we didn't know that the second flight had been delayed because the first flight was delayed. So we were freaking out like, oh my God, our plane is leaving in 15 minutes and we weren't even at the gate yet. It was taking us so long to find it. And I honestly was just about to like lay on the airport floor and cry because I just thought we were going to miss our flight. And then we get there. It's like 5 minutes until the gate was going to close, and all the signs, like, you know how they have the signs that say what flights are boarding and leaving and what time and all that. It said our flight was boarding and that it was going to be in final call in 5 minutes. So I was freaking out thinking we were going to miss it because we still couldn't find the gate. So once we finally found the gate, we were rushing up to the like counter where they scan your passport and boarding pass. And I was like, I'm here for the flight to Auckland. And she was like, ma'am, please wait in the area, please. The flight hasn't boarded yet. And I was just like, oh my God. First of all, I was like such a relief. But then I was like, why are you being rude to me? Like, she said it with so much sass, as if like, you need to wait in the line. You need to go back and wait in the area. And it's just like, but the flight thing right above your head says that it's boarding now. And I was just so confused. But I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. I thought we were going to miss our flight. And she just like looked at me like I was crazy. But I didn't care. At that point in time, I realized we're early for boarding. The flight hadn't even started boarding yet. But all the signs all around the airport said it was. That was so infuriating. Like, can't they update them live to say like flight delayed or this or that? But anyway, it didn't say that. So we were stressing out this whole time for nothing. We were standing in the like gate area for about another 15 minutes before we even started boarding. So that was pretty lucky because otherwise we might have missed our flight. So anyway, when we were landing from Auckland to Melbourne to Adelaide, I was so stressed that we were going to have a stressful situation in the Melbourne airport. I was Googling it, watching like vlogs of people doing like the Melbourne airport, like how to get from international to domestic. And I was freaking out thinking it was going to be such a horrible experience, just like the Sydney one, because we got so lost in the Sydney airport. We didn't realize there were separate terminals. You have to take like a 15-minute bus that only comes every 15 minutes. And we had like 10 minutes till we needed to board. So anyway, so I was stressed about it, thinking it was going to be just as stressful or worse, or I was just really stressed. So I think the eggs were sitting in my stomach funny because of the stress, but it was fine. It was so easy and so simple compared to Sydney. So if you ever have to do a layover internationally to domestic from Australia to another country through either of those airports, I definitely pick Melbourne. So much simpler. Oh, loved it. Anyway, here are the screenshots. I will tell you more about my adventures in New Zealand and whatnot in another video. I've got plenty of builds coming up. I'm going to be working on my teenage pregnancy story session series I'm going to be doing. I'm not quite sure what to call it yet, but I need to go ahead and do some builds and creator sims before I can start the LP. So go ahead and look forward to them soon. And I also am going to be probably going ahead and doing a save file. I feel really inspired to make my own save file just based off seeing other people's. I think they look so good, but enjoy the before and after photos. I had a lot of fun shooting these and doing before and after photos. I usually don't. I usually just do screenshots. So I had a lot of fun putting a lot of effort into this video. So I hope that you enjoyed it, and welcome me back to Australia. Welcome me back to YouTube. Videos are going to be more current and probably about 1 to 2 a week until I figure out my uni schedule. But yeah, until next time, hope you'll have a very snazzy day, and I'll see you all soon. Bye guys!